could have been king and he could have brought magic back to the land. Like, it was so close. And instead he just dies? Hey guys, magandang umaga o magandang gabi depending on what time you're watching this video. My name is Monica and welcome to my channel. So, welcome back. This is part 2 of this kind of series, I guess, that I'm doing, which is my top 5 worst finales of all time. If you haven't seen my previous video talking about why Game of Thrones is on my list, then just click the card up above and that will take you straight to it. But the reason I started this series was because I tried to do it as one video. Turns out I talk a lot, so I decided to split it up into 5 different videos. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get into this video and tell you why Merlin is on my list. If you guys haven't heard of Merlin, I highly recommend you watch it. Most of these shows that I'm actually going to be talking about today are things that I have really enjoyed, which is why the finales have been so disappointing, because you expect it to be good. And also, goes to show that I've watched it to the end, which shows that, you know, it is good enough to watch until the end. So a lot of these shows I will just recommend in general. I'm just saying, the ending, not great. If you know anything about Arthur and the Round Table, The Sword and the Stone, you kind of know more or less the premise of Merlin. Essentially, it is this boy who finds a sword stuck in the stone, and legend has it that the true king of Camelot is the only man, the only person who can pull the sword from the stone. And obviously it is Arthur who manages to do it, and he has this round table of all of his knights. And that's essentially where this story is coming from. And he has this wizard who is on his side called Merlin. Loads of things have, you know, remade this story. I've seen movies about it. I've seen, I believe Disney has done something on it called The Sword and the Stone. Merlin is an old man in this. But in this show, Merlin and Arthur are more or less the same age. They're kind of late teens, I would say. I think they're supposed to be at least 18 or 19 years old. And Merlin is a young wizard who is kind of still learning his craft, but he is different from other people who practice magic because he was born the way that he is. He was born as a wizard. I believe the term that they use is warlock in this. So it starts with Arthur's dad, the king. He is very, very against magic. He's outlawed it in Camelot, and so anyone who is magical cannot come into the city or they will be executed. So having Merlin recently move into the city, he has to hide the fact that he is magical. He lives with this old man who is, I think, a friend of his mother called YUSH. He is great. Turns out that he used to practice magic as well, but he wasn't born with it. He would teach himself from spellbooks and stuff. So he's kind of trying to keep Merlin safe, but he knows now that he is a warlock. Merlin ends up being the servant boy of Arthur. Arthur does not know that he is magical, and it is this whole battle because they become friends, and Merlin really wants to tell Arthur that he's magical, but, you know, Arthur's father will have him executed, so he doesn't really know where he stands. The premise of the show is that loads of people are trying to kill Arthur, or they're trying to kill the king, or they're a danger to Camelot, and Merlin is essentially there to save the day, but he has to do it on the low so that nobody knows that he has any powers. The show, it had built up so much, and it's such a good show. It's, you know, it's fairly old, the CGI isn't great or whatever, but it's still a good show. There's this huge battle at the end because Morgana, the big bad basically, people who know the legend know that Morgana is the witch who is the arch nemesis of Merlin the wizard. They've been building up the whole show for Arthur to be king, and when he is king, hopefully magical folk will be able to live in peace once more, because he is not like his father. His father is a tyrant against magical creatures, at least, and Arthur is more understanding. He tries to see it from the magical people's point of view, and so the magical community kind of root for Arthur. But the end of the show, he just gets killed. So finally he finds out that Merlin is the wizard that's actually helping him. So he kind of knows that there is someone magical kind of helping him and like on the sidelines, but there's no way he thought it would be Merlin because he sees him as like this bumbling oaf really. And he finds out that it's him this whole time, but it's as he's dying, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense because There are so many prophecies about Arthur where he's going to be the once and future king and he's going to be the one to save all the magical people basically, and I just don't see why they had to kill him off. Because what happened was the show could have actually gone on for longer, I feel, but they ended up cancelling it for whatever reason. I don't know the logistics of it. They had to cancel for whatever reason, so they had to wrap it up rather quickly, but I don't see why they had to kill him to wrap it up. Like, he could have won the battle, he could have killed Morgana, because Morgana does die at the end, then he could have been king and he could have brought magic back to the land. Like, it was so close, and instead he just dies. And then the last scene is Merlin like walking past the street, and then it's like present day where like a bus goes by on the street or something like that, and then Merlin is still about. Like, I don't understand what they were trying to do. Merlin was saying how you can't die, the prophecy and everything. Like, doesn't make a lot of sense. And then the dragon, who kind of talked about the prophecy to him, was saying how, oh, it's fine, he's the once and future king, so his time is not now. What? Makes no sense. I hate it. Every time I rewatch this show, I just know it's stupid ending, so I just try and not watch the ending, but it feels very, you know, unfinished if you don't watch the finale. Yeah, it's stupid. So that is why Merlin is on my top 5 worst finales of all time. Tell me what you think, guys, if you agree, disagree, if you've even seen the show. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen the show, and just leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear them. Stay tuned for my next video where I will continue this little series here and talk about the 3rd worst finale that is on my top 5. So if you wanted to hear more from me, my socials are linked down below and are also on my end screen. I'm still offering my video editing services to anyone who is interested. My Fiverr account is linked down below. And thank you guys for watching if you stayed until this point, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!